Hello, everyone. Relax, breathe in, breathe out, and welcome to today's Circuit Stream Workshop, a VR meditation experience. Whoa, how about that intro, huh? Welcome, everyone. If you're there, drop a line in a chat, let me know. I'd love to see if you guys can see me, if you can hear me okay. So a quick AV test would be great. Okay, so I see Elisa is typing, Shane is typing, Mitch is typing. Great, we have some thumbs up. Amazing. Hey, Elisa. Hey, Shane. Oh, everything is good. Awesome. That's good to know. Hi, Wendy. Hey, Ken. Hey, Mitch. Looking forward to this. Oh, me too. Today, Nakisa and I are only allowed to speak in a soft voice. If we don't, you guys have to let us know. Just joking. But it is going to be a very relaxing experience, or at least we hope so. Hi, Alexandra. Hey, Sonia. So I'm your host for the day, everyone, Luciana Fortis, but you can call me Lucy. And our expert of the day is Nakisa Donnelly. She'll be joining us on stage pretty soon. But before we get things started, I would love to know where everybody is tuning in from. I'm currently physically in Calgary, in Canada, but mentally I'm in this Zen space, and chillaxed. All right, so Mitch is from Toronto, Canada. Hey, awesome. Andra from London. Oh, Alexandra, Athens, Greece. Ken from Nashville, Tennessee. David from Pittsburgh. Oh, I went to school in Pennsylvania, close to Philadelphia. Indica is typing. Sri Lanka, 1 a.m. here on Indica is, the time zones. He's a fighter. That's awesome. Well, I'd love to continue knowing where everybody is tuning in from. Joe from Calgary. So do continue to let us know in the chat. A couple of housekeeping items before we continue. So throughout the workshop, feel free to continue using the chat. Use the emoji function that I love. I love seeing those emojis pop up. They're really exciting for us here as hosts. Yes, exactly. You guys know what I mean. No sad faces. No sad faces. But also you can use the chat to, make comments and engage, and also to share your LinkedIn profiles. And then that way we can stay connected even after the workshop. Another thing as well, I'd love to know if this is your first workshop with us. We have a couple of, familiar faces, but it's so cool to have some newbies as well. The other housekeeping items are to the top right of the chat function. You'll see that there's a questions tab. So throughout the workshop, be sure to drop your questions there so that they can stay organized and don't get lost in the chat function. At the end, we're going to go through all of them in the Q&A session. And then to the right of that, we have the polls tab. So we have 2 quick polls for you today, just so we can gauge where you guys are at and we can cater the workshop to your experience and to your needs. Alrighty, so without further ado, let's get things started. So how to build a VR meditation experience. What can you expect for today? I'm going to start off with a brief introduction about who we are and what we do. Then I'll invite Nakisa up on stage to go through a VR deep dive. Then I'm going to come back and just wrap up with a couple of resources, and then we'll go to our live Q&A. If for some reason you have to drop off because you have to go to work, you have to go to sleep, we have people from all over the world, so that's bound to happen. Don't worry, because the recording will be sent to everybody who registered, everybody who's here, as well as any of the project files and resources. All right, so with our introduction, let me tell you a little bit about myself. As I said, I'm Luciana Fortis, but you can call me Lucy. I'm the Student Experience Coordinator here at Circuit Stream. Or, fun guru, cool person, fun, great experience specialist. Any of those job titles also apply to me. I have over 7 years of experience in education. I've worked with university prep as well as student experience. And a fun fact about me is that both of my degrees are in dance. And in 2016, I danced in the opening ceremony of the Rio 2016 Paralympic Games. So if you are a dancer, if you are an athlete, let me know. I would love to connect. And our expert for the day, Nakisa Donnelly. She is an instructor as well as a VR and AR developer here at Circuit Stream. She's a HoloLens and Magic League professional, and she's occasionally part of a circus. when she comes on, I want you all to ask her about eating fire, okay? Because she does that. I mean, you got to be pretty zen to do that. That's all I have to say. What about the rest of us here at Circus Dream? And what is Circus Dream? What do we do? So Circus Dream was founded in 2015 when we noticed a gap in the education world in terms of providing VR and AR and XR training to the next set of professionals, enthusiasts, as well as anybody who wanted to work in the field just as a hobby. So we're really proud to say that since then, we've trained over 40,000 individuals. 40,000. Can you believe that? I love that number. And last but not least, we are also a Unity certified training and channel partner. So channel partners are approved based on their expertise, quality of education, and commitment to providing the highest level of training possible. So there, we have a pretty close relationship with Unity. And just so you all know, Unity covers over 60% of the market. So we are a global team of industry experts that is passionate about building AR and VR products. And as you can see, just like our awesome students, we're very international. So we have people working out of Canada, United States, Sri Lanka, Philippines, Brazil. So it's really exciting to be able to stay connected because of XR. Here you can have a quick snapshot of all the students that we've had the pleasure to train. So they come from various companies and areas. And we have lots of big names such as Hulu, Apple, Nike, Hershey's, Facebook, Dell, Walmart, which is pretty neat. But then also, I always love to see kind of the breadth of applications that XR can apply itself to, which is pretty great. So even our students, they come from art, they come from manufacturing and robotics and animation, lots of different areas. Okay, so how do we actually provide training? So we offer workshops, try 2 workshops on a weekly basis, but then we also have our academic offerings. We got some new people tuning in. Hi, Patricia, New Mexico, and also Jonas from Stockholm. Amazing, amazing. Do continue to introduce yourselves in the chat while I introduce everything. Okay, so in terms of our courses, we have 2 flagship courses. I am going to be going into detail a little bit more later on after the workshop, but this is just so you all have some context. So we have our XR development with Unity course, as well as our interaction design and prototyping for XR. They're both beginner courses, but their focus is a little bit different. So with XR development, you do coding and you learn how to develop apps for XR, whereas in the interaction design, you don't need to do any coding and it's just focused on the design aspect. We have a couple of cohorts coming up, as you can see, and both courses are 10 weeks long with 80 hours of instruction. In all of our courses, you get live mentorship with live instructors, and you have the option to add on one-on-one support with an industry expert. We also provide personalized team training. So if you're an educator or you're a business and you'd like to come up with a plan, a training plan for your team, definitely let us know and we can come up with a personalized plan for you. All right, so let's start getting into what you're going to be seeing today here at our workshop. So a big portion of what we do, of course, is in Unity. So Unity is the engine that we use. But before I start going into Unity, just in a little bit more detail, I'd love to know, on a scale of 0 to 10, what your guys' experience with Unity is. Now, don't say anything in the chat yet. I'm going to go ahead and launch the first poll of the day. All right, and it's been published. So if you can go ahead to the polls tab, we can start seeing what everybody's experience with Unity is. All right, so we have some votes coming in. Great, so we have about, wow, 33% is in the 3, 15% is 0, 50% in 2. Oh, we have a couple people who are in the 6s, so you might have a great grasp of Unity already, but it looks like the majority of people are really beginners, which is totally fine. So let's try to understand what Unity is. So Unity is a free 3D development engine for building games, simulations, and experiences. So basically, it's the easiest way to begin making apps for XR. So what is XR? XR is extended reality, which is just a fancy term for AR and VR. All right, so how do you go about creating an app in Unity? It all starts with your brilliant idea, and then you create it in an engine such as Unity. And then you push it out to an SDK such as Oculus, Steam VR, and Microsoft HoloLens, and then to their respective devices. Okay, so enough about that. Let's try to understand what you're going to be learning about today. So you're going to learn how to build a Unity environment, how to develop logic using C# language, as well as how to set up VR in Unity. So without further ado, let us get our Zen on. And on that note, I would love to invite Nakisa up on stage to show you all how to build a VR meditation experience. Let's see if she has her Zen voice on.
Hello.
Hello, Nakisa.
VR meditation.
Whoa. Oh my gosh. I just feel so much more relaxed. Like I'm just like, I'm on a beach, you know, just drinking coconut water.
That's right.
All right.
And breathe.
Everything
Let's close
will
our
be
eyes.
fine.
Yeah. Feel the ground beneath our feet.
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
So,
right. See you guys later.
Yes. And so this will be the Unity portion of your XR development. So we'll be starting from scratch here. We'll be creating a brand new project in Unity. So this is geared towards your beginners. So your people with 0 to 3 type of experience with Unity. And so with like a little sprinkle of scripting there. So let's get started. We are going to open up. Oh.
Sorry, I'm still hanging out because it's not allowing me to. It doesn't want me to exit the stream.
Oh.
Are you able to remove me?
Maybe. There we go. There we go. So this is Unity, the Unity Hub, which we will download once you download and install a version of Unity that you like. And you can see a list of all the different projects that I have going on. That's not even the half of it. I saved the feng shui. So we're going to create a brand new Unity project here. I'm going to click on this new button. And this will be a very important thing. We're not going to choose a 3D template. We're going to choose a universal render pipeline because this workshop is all geared towards design and having things look pretty and meditative. So we're going to click on that universal render pipeline, and I'm going to choose a different class here. Let's go to projects. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to rename this. So Ken, you're not required to have Unity installed right now. When you want to play around and follow along with the recording, you are certainly welcome to download and install Unity. So the project name will do VR meditation. Like so. Let's delete that space. I don't like spaces. But do breathe in the spaces of your life. So let's go ahead and create this one. It might take some time to open up. So why did the wolf start meditating? Because he wanted to be a werewolf. You'll notice that with my workshops, I love some puns. I love puns. And this is apparently taking a pretty long time to create. That's usually typical when you're creating something with the universal render pipeline. So as you can see from my background here, I've just moved. And my TV is on the floor right now. And I'm like, I just can't find the control for this TV. It must be in a remote location. So, hi, hello, this is the Unity editor. The Unity editor is where we will be building our meditative journey. So this will be in VR, so an all-encompassing digital environment here. So let's take a look at what this Unity editor is kind of all about. Over to the right-hand side in the hierarchy, this is a list of all the things that will live in your project or in your scene here. And we see right now we have a nice little scene. It's kind of like construction. That's not very zen, not very, it looks a little busy right around there. So we're going to create a new scene here. Ken, it's okay. You don't have to download or install Unity right now. You can just do it on the replay. It's Unity 3D is what you're going to look for. So, there it is. So now what we're going to do is in the scene view, this is where we are going to start to build our world. So why we are using the universal render pipeline as opposed to your 3D is because we want to have access to something called shader graph. And shader graph is already installed here. Shader graph is what we use to create some nice visual effects and everything like that. So let's take a look at the project tab down at the bottom. This is basically the file explorer of your project and all that stuff. So let's get on to the very, very fun part. What we're going to do is we're going to do file, assets, or import package, and a custom package here. We're going to import this VR meditation. Now, this project and this package will be supplied to you at the end of your workshop with that little replay. You'll have a link to the GitHub repo, which you can clone and get onto your local machine. Now, the assets here and the scene that we're going to go take a look at eventually, we'll just gotta be patient. Eventually. Oh, Jonas, that's okay. There's going to be a replay after this so you can follow along with. So this is a list of all the things that are in that package, and we'll see right in here we have some third-party assets, and this is a list. We have some trees, we have some universal render pipelines, some skyboxes, some rocks, grass, some sprites here, and some lotuses and pinwheels and all that stuff. So we're going to import all of these things now. The package will be supplied to you after the workshop is done, so you can replay that recording and follow along. And we're just going to import there. So in moving and having a little bit of a healthier lifestyle, I'm trying to go vegan. Now, people say it's better, but I'm like, it really depends on like maybe your background. But then I was reading about like Bruce Lee, and I was like, oh my God, Bruce Lee had a vegan brother called Broccoli. So yeah, now we're just importing all these things. Oh, nice, Mitch, you are moving. So what I'm doing right now at the moment is, So what I'm doing at the moment in Unity right now is I'm getting some like 3D models. I'm getting some skyboxes in there so we can start world building. There's some flowers in there too. It's a fairly large asset. So it's taken its sweet time. So one of the great things about Unity and about like VR design is that it's all really centered on the human experience. So this workshop is basically mostly on designing your environment and what looks good or what feels good. And so you might think that, oh, we don't really have like a lot of experience doing XR design. But really, we do. So we have a lot of experience doing like ergonomics or, there we go. Ergonomics or some of the other stuff that we have here. Alrighty, cool. So we have imported all of our assets. So now, what headset am I using? I'm using the Rift S. I will hold on to it and hold on to it forever until that link cable is less buggy. So in our assets here, we now have some scenes. Let's go into the meditation scene. And don't worry, this will all be supplied to you in good time. So let's take a look at what this looks like. Ooh, so pretty. Look at that. So this environment, all of this environment is supplied to you by our lovely Indica, who is a instructor, developer, guru, and an all-around beast of a developer. I think he's hanging around here in the chat. There he is. Yeah, so this environment was all created and designed by him, which we will be enjoying now. We have some nice water here that is nice and calming. So the first thing that we're going to want to do here is we want to get our input all set up and ready to use for our buttons and all that stuff, because we need to bind these things. We need to start to listen to, or at least track, what any of these things, these buttons are doing, especially our grip button right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to seed that input into our project in the same way that you would seed a lotus flower. Ooh. I know, it's so pretty. So this shader, this is why we're using the universal render pipeline, is for something called shader graph. So let's go to our, where was that? It was in the edit and project settings. And let's first see if we have the seeding stuff. So here we do not, but this is the input manager. This is going to be all about VR stuff. And now currently we don't have any VR inputs. So let's go right ahead and import some of that stuff and make this project interactable in the VR world. To do that, I'm going to go into my Windows Package Manager. And let's not look at the in project. We're going to go to the Unity registry, because there is something very, very important that we will need in order to enable any XR development in our projects. And that's going to be our XR plugin management right there. Clicking on that, let's go to install. The music in this application is also supplied to you by Indica. He's played every single instrument on those tracks, including singing. Possibly not the singing, but I'm just going to run with it. Ah, there we go. He hummed. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to seed in my input bindings for my XR controllers because I need to start to listen to these things. So to do that, a really easy way to do that is in Assets, and you seed XR input bindings. You click on that, and now when we look at our input manager, now we have a whole bunch of different inputs that we are going to listen to right about here. Right here. You know what? I'm pretty sure Indica can do anything. So we have a bunch of these inputs, and now that we have that, let's also, the final step, let's also make sure in our project settings that we have Oculus checked for our XR. So I'm going to check that right there. And once that's done, right now what it's doing is it is importing your Oculus SDK so it can talk to my headset. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this, and I'm going to delete this XR rig. I'm going to delete this XR rig, and we're going to build it from scratch. So what I want to do is I want to right click in here and create an empty game object. Now this empty game object, empty just means that it has a transform and nothing else. So this will be our XR rig right there. And let's move that over here a little bit. So bonus points for someone who can tell me, maybe it'll be those 6s, someone who can tell me what coordinate space that we are working in Unity. What coordinate space in that? We have an X and a Y and a Z that we work with. So what coordinate space is that? Yes, it is 3D. It's 3D, yes. But if we have an X and a Y and a Z, what coordinate space? Think maps. There it is, Quan. It's Cartesian. Nice. 10 points. Or maybe it's 50. Well done. Well done. Well done. So we are in the Cartesian coordinate space. We have an X and a Y and a Z, which means that vector stuff is going to be really important. But have no fear. We're not dealing with math. We're not dealing with it at all today because we're zenning. So we have the XR rig. Now, there's 3 things under my XR rig that I want to represent, right? One of them is my head. And one of them is going to be my left controller. The other one is going to be my right controller. And under all of this stuff, we need another component. We need a camera offset, and this will account for our head height and the ground. So I'm going to right click on this rig and go to create an empty, and this will be my camera offset. So my camera offset again will be the offset of my height. So then on this camera, this XR rig, I'm going to add a component and add a camera offset. There it is. Now, because we've created this little game object here, we're going to connect these 2 things because we have an open field here. Let's increase that. There we go. So the camera floor offset object. Well, what object did I just create not a moment ago? This camera offset. So I'm going to connect these 2 game objects by dragging it from the hierarchy and over in the inspector here, which inspects the game object that you've selected, and dropping it there. So next I'm going to change this to the floor. So the floor is going to be what is tracked there. Now, the next thing on my camera offset is I'm going to create 3 different empty game objects. I'm going to right click. Ah, there it is. Gerald. Nice. Nice find. That's a really good article about Unity's coordinate system. It gets really fascinating when you get into like projections and everything, but that's for another time. So I'm going to right click on this camera offset and create another empty, because what do we need? We need our VR head. We need that head. And then of course we need our left hand, and then we need another empty, and we'll do a right hand. So on the VR head, Wikipedia explains all things. It's incredible how quickly you can go down a rabbit hole from one topic that seemingly maybe you're learning about like folklore or like, and then like 5 pages later, you're into like nuclear fission. It's ridiculous. But now on our VR head, we need something to represent the world that we're seeing. So let's add a component and add a camera. And there we go. There's our camera. Now this camera, we are going to set the near clipping plane to 0.01. So bonus points if you know what that means or where that is. Where's that little image? Is this for your sixes? That's okay. I'll show you. So right here, and this is a pesky little gizmo. Let's drag that icon down. There we go. So if we go really close here, you'll see right there, this is that near clipping plane. So this is important when you're designing VR. So your near clipping plane is basically how close something is to render. So before it was at 0.3, right? So 0.3 in Unity is about 30 centimeters in real life, in IRL. So that's about 30 centimeters from my face, right? So that's about like my arm's length. So anything closer than that won't be rendered. I won't be able to see it. And this, of course, this is no bueno. And that's because we want to see things really up close, and mainly because like this environment is beautiful and gorgeous. And we want to see our hands. So this is our VR head. Now there are some other things that we need to add to that so it will track. I'm going to add a component and add a tracked pose driver. A tracked pose driver will be the component that tracks the direction or the position and rotation of my head. We can see that it's a generic XR device with a center eye, or your third eye for all you yogis out there. Since we are talking about meditation. And then, so under there, I want my left hand here. Let's add another component and add that tracked pose driver, because every single one of these objects need to be tracked. So this left hand, I'm going to configure this tracked pose driver. I'm going to switch this to a generic XR controller, and there it is. And the right hand will also be a generic XR controller, but we're going to switch that to a right controller. Now, when I hit play, will I be able to see my hands waving them out? Will I be able to see them? The answer is yes, Lavester. The answer is no, I will not be able to see my hands. We need some stuff to represent our hands. So let's just use some nice little spheres. I'm going to right click on this left hand, go to 3D object, and a sphere. Ooh, look at that. Let's decrease, or let's just call this a sphere. And let's decrease that size a little bit. Let's decrease that to about there. Ah, yes. Ah, yes. So this material is lit right here. And that'll be fine. Let's duplicate this game object and have it as our right-hand tool. So now let's see. So we have the spheres, we have the head right there. Let's save our scene and let's make sure that it works. And then we'll get into the scripting part. So I'm just gonna hit play. Ooh. And let's look. Oh, look at that. Look at that beautiful waterfall. Nice. Very nice. But let's take a look at our hands. Wake them up. And there it is. There is my right hand. There we go. Cool. So it is working. Once we get into the scripting and finish that, then we'll get into making it look pretty. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's a shader reflection. Ah, yes. So this will need, let's see. This is a projection type. What are we missing here? What are we missing there? There should be that. Maybe that is in some rendering. Default forward. Camera there. Skybox. Output texture. That's there. Okay. Interesting. Oh, I believe this needs to be tagged as the main camera. There we go. There we go. That should do it. So when that is tagged as main camera, what happens is that Unity caches or saves that main camera here. How do you know which hand is which if you have a hand-shaped hand? So your left hand would look like a left. Well, your left hand would look like a left hand. Your right hand would look like a right hand. But we can get into that design a little bit more. I'll explain that in further depth when we get to the question period. But right now, let's finish this thing. So I'm going to add a component on. I'm going to add a component on the XR rig. I'm going to add a component, and this is going to be a particle manager, as we are going to create some particles. So under some main camera here, we're going to do some particles. I'm going to do right click and create an empty, and this will be particle in. So we'll breathe in, duplicate that, and this will be particle out. And this will be part of our head there. So it'll look like we're breathing in these particles and then exhaling these particles. So let's do particle in first. Let's add component and add a particle. Oh, not particle manager, particle system. There we go. And there's the particles. Oof. Very cool. Oh, you know what? It looks real pretty right now, but we're going to do some stuff for this. We are going to say, and this is your particle system of Unity. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the start lifetime to about 1.5 seconds. There we go. And the start speed will be about -5. So this will be particle in. So we're breathing in like, there we go. So then what we're going to do is we're going to decrease the start size, because those are pretty big particles. Those are about start size of 1. So let's do 0.01. There we go. Now we can see that there. So the simulation space, this is going to be the world. And then the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to check on the emission. So the emission is basically the rate over time. So let's say we want 20, and there we go. So we're going to have 20 particles over time. And now let's do the shape. So the shape right now is a cone. It's a pretty big cone. So let's change this a bit. Let's decrease that angle. All right, let's do something like, let's do that. Right about 2. Let's change this radius too. Whoop, that was real fast. Oh goodness. Let's do a radius of 0.0001. There we go. There we go. Nice. Nice, nice. It's a little bit fast here. There we go. So there we go. So we have particles in. Now let's change the color and shape of this thing. Let's take a look at the renderer. So right here in the renderer, we're going to change the material of this thing. So I'm going to click on here, and we are going to search for particle. And there it is. So there's this particle that we will be using right there. And there it is. So this is we'll be breathing in, and then we're going to do another one for breathing out. But to do this really simply, I'm just going to delete the one that I created there and duplicate this one and rename this to particle out. Oh. Particle out. Now this particle out, this one, its direction is going to be in the positive direction. So it'll be there. So particle out. Okay, so particle in, actually, what we're going to do is we're going to move this in the forward direction a little bit. Right about there. And then maybe like down a little bit. Okay, cool. So particle ins, particle out. Nice. So now what we're going to do is we're going to drag these particle systems in here. So I'm going to drag particle in to particle in, particle out to particle out. And let's take a look at what this particle manager is doing. So here it is. Okay. So what we're doing here is we're just setting up our particles. So the emission module is so the emission module is, you know, your emission of your particles. So we're going to control those things. So those are either enabled or disabled. So in the update loop runs every frame. So if you have a really beefy computer, maybe it's running at like 120 frames per second, your update is going to be called once every 120. Wait, 1 over 120 seconds. So that's how many times your update is going to be called. So your update runs every single frame. So what we're doing here is we're first detecting our grip buttons. So we're using an input.get button down. That'll be the very first frame that your grip button, this one, is pressed. And then what we're doing is we're just, we're holding it. And then what we're doing is we're breathing in. And then when we let go, input.get button up, we're going to breathe out. And that is in the update. Now, this is just if you want to turn it off. And that is it for your logic. We're basically saying that when we are holding the grip button, we're breathing in and then letting go when we breathe out. Now, if you want to make this more of a meditation app, I go with the 3 3s. The 3 3s means you breathe in for 3 seconds, and then you hold it for 3 seconds, and then breathe out for 3 seconds. So next, we'll take a look at making things look pretty. So this means adding some post-processing effects onto our head. So right here, I'm going to add I should actually have a global volume here. Yes, we have a global volume. So it should already look really, really pretty. So now let's test it. I'm going to save my scene here and then test. Now I wonder if you guys will be able to hear this. Here, let me change my... There we go. And let's try it. Now, the great thing about this Rift S, and also why I will never get rid of it, is that it also accommodates for the space of my glasses. So I won't be blind. So let's do this. And then let's hit play. And there it is. There is. Oh, so pretty. So pretty. So, oh, I forgot. There is one essential piece. There is one essential piece on the VR head. We have to add an audio listener on the head so we can actually hear things. So let's hit play. And there we go. Can you hear that? Oh, beautiful. So this is my right hand. This is my left hand. So let's breathe in and breathe out. And then breathe in and then breathe out. And in and out. And that is your meditation. Namaste. I don't know if you can hear that. Beautiful. Cool. And that concludes our VR meditation app. Don't forget to save your scene. Control S.
Very nice. Very nice. Look at my eyes. Look at my eyes. Look. Have you seen this?
Such zen.
And now we are going to wrap up this workshop before the next Q&A. Thank you. Very nice. All right, everyone, a round of applause. Oh no, let's do not applause, but what are these called? Snaps.
Snaps?
Yeah, happiness snaps. Thank you, Nikisa.
It's very beatnik.
If you look to your side, you will see your fruit water, right? What are those called?
And you'll have a nice towel that is scented with lemon.
Yes. Take it on. All the essential oils here today are designed to lower your blood pressure.
I'll exit the stage and let you take over.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Nakisa. Thanks, everybody. That was awesome. Before I wrap up, wait, what did Gerald say? Waves hands in circle for a round of snap applause. Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. That was great. Okay, I'm going to wrap up with a couple of things before we go to Q&A. The first thing I would love to know from you all is, on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely you are to recommend this workshop to a friend or a colleague. So I'm going to go ahead and post this in the polls tab. And if you could go ahead and submit your vote, that would be great. It really helps us to keep these workshops relevant, keep these workshops catered to you all. So thank you so much for the vote. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen again. Can you all see me and hear me okay? Oh, Janice, this is the most relaxing tech workshop I have ever attended. It was amazing, really fun. Oh, thank you so much for saying that, right? I feel like we need more of these experiences that help us slow down, right? Very nice. Okay, everyone. So I would love to start us off with an invitation. So if you like this workshop, if you're interested in creating similar experiences and would like to know more about our courses, if you'd like to see experiences from previous students, alums, and just get to know us a little bit better, we have an open house coming up on August 10th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. So it's a great chance to get to know us better. What does Gerald say? Humor made this workshop quite enjoyable. Mahalo. Oh, yeah. I mean, Nakisa, she's really humor queen. And Grandmas, we learned to channel our chakras so we can hear you without volume on. Whoa. That's deep. I'm going to take that up to the team. Very cool. All right. So let me post the link here if any of you would like to sign up for our open house. Oh, Jill already posted it. Perfect. And then, so what are the courses that we're going to be talking about? So the first course, as I mentioned earlier, is the XR Development with Unity course. So that's 10 weeks long, 80 hours of instruction. So it's a beginner-friendly course. You learn how to make AR and VR apps on Unity. So this includes scripting and coding. And you have 3 hours of instruction per week, 5 office hours per week, and it's flexible part-time. And you have lifetime access to the recordings. So all of their classes are live, but they're recorded as well, just like the workshop today, so that you can go back and study at any time, even after the class is done. And yes, Indica will be doing the August 3, the MENA cohort. So we still have a couple more spots for this one, so we can squeeze you in if you message us today or tomorrow at the latest. So this course is portfolio based. So this means that all of the projects that you create in the course will lead up to a portfolio at the end. So portfolios are really important to be able to showcase your skills to the industry, and they really help with job prospects. You get industry recognized certifications that help get you into the industry as well. And you can add on weekly one-on-one support with an industry expert to work on a personal project. So this is optional, so you can really cater it to what you are looking for. And then we have our interaction design and prototyping for XR, also beginner friendly. But in this course, the focus is on designing experiences for AR and VR and how that differs from web and mobile apps. So if you're not a coder, if you don't like to program, this course is for you. We have a cohort coming up on August 23rd, and we have 3 different time slots. So it really makes it flexible for you to choose the best one for you. You also learn techniques to create XR prototypes, and it's the same resources: 3 hours of live instruction, 5 office hours per week, flexible part-time, lifetime access, all that good stuff, certifications, and the option to add on one-on-one weekly support. So I mentioned industry certifications. So what are these? So for the XR Development with Unity, you get an XR Development with Unity certification that links to your skills. You can add it to LinkedIn. You can add it to your email signature, to your website. It's really easy. And it also links to a local job bank. And then with the interaction course, you get an XR designer certification. For all of these courses, you get a voucher to take the Unity exam so that you can add on a second certification to your roster. All right, so community and support. You get lots of resources and support in our courses. You get to be a part of our XR community on Slack, where you get 24/7 support. You get to connect with colleagues. You get to talk to me, which is the best part, really. And really, you get to share work and see what everybody is up to. You can connect to 5 office hours per week. And we host a couple of live events as well. So we have coffee hour, which is social time, which we're going to start hosting in VR next week, which is pretty exciting. Show and tell, which you get to see live demos with instructors. And demo day. So that's when students showcase the work that they've created in class. And actually, we have our demo day tomorrow. It's going to be at 12 p.m. Pacific time and at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So at 12 p.m., you get to see the projects that the XR development with Unity students did, and in the afternoon with some of our more advanced students. So we're going to link these for you below. They're going to be streamed live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So you can choose any of those platforms to join. It's going to be pretty cool. It's going to be recorded as well. So if you can't attend, you can always check out the recording on our YouTube channel later on. All right, so what's the pricing for all of this? So if you just choose the course, that would be the starter pack. And you get the course plus the Unity certification exam, and that's $39.50. Now, if you choose our plus package, you get all of that, plus a C# scripting fundamentals course, an Oculus Quest 2, and 10 hours with one-on-ones with an expert. So on this one, it's $49.50, and you save over $900. However, we have an awesome summer sale going on up until August 13th. So there's still time to go to the open house and kind of learn more about our courses before you decide to, if you'd like to go ahead with them or not. And there's still time to take advantage of the sale after that. So when you get $1,000 off the plus packages and 20% off any of the individual courses. And if you're an alum, you get 30% off. So really, if you're looking to train with us, this would be an excellent time to do so. We also have a couple of payment plans. So if the price, after the discounts is still a little bit scary to you, you can dilute that over an amount of time. So it really makes it a lot more accessible. And as I mentioned earlier, you also have access to a personalized plan if you'd like to do some team training. And if you're super advanced and you just want to work with an expert, we also have a couple of one-on-one packs that you can purchase. All right, so what can you do next? If you're ready to apply, you can go to circuitstream.com/learning, or if you're not sure and you'd like to download a syllabus, you can go there as well. And you can also go to our website to sign up for the open house if you'd like to see and hear a little bit more about all of that. All right, so the 3 awesome admissions teams reps are Steph, Kyle, and Brendan. So these are your go-to guys for any questions that you have about the course. I like to call them Lucy's Angels because really they are my go-to team, and they can help you figure out what the best learning path for you is. Okay, so I know that was a lot of babbling after some moments of, silence and peace, but thank you all so much for coming. We're going to go to Q&A, so don't head out just yet. Before I close up my presentation, I'd just like to share with you guys our Slack community link. So if you'd like to continue connecting with us, and tuning into our events, you can do so. So I've posted the link below. I was going to say something. I'm also going to post the link to demo day tomorrow. So that's going to be posted on Slack, but let me pull that up. In the meantime, I'm going to invite Nakisa up on stage. So I can go to the Q&A, and we're going to have more moments of silence to really fill in this pause while I'm looking for the links.
Breathe in and out. I should have a little gong.
Very smooth. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love that.
Maybe some singing bowls. Get those in there too. Yeah. There was this one yoga studio in Calgary that like someone had one of these like tiny little pianos and it was like in the studio. So they would like play this as it was like Shavasana. And it was like the most magical experience.
Which one was that? I need to go there.
Passage yoga.
Of course, because
Yeah.
it's a journey. You have to
It is.
passage through.
Yes. The passage to enlightenment.
The passage to get to the other side. I don't know. I will stop. I will cut myself off. That's harsh.
We could go for hours.
Yeah. All right. So that bought me enough time to post the links. Come to demo day tomorrow if you can. It's going to be super cool. Do we have a meditation? Oh, we have a meditation related one in the morning. So
Yes.
Relaxation to continue. TBD.
Yes.
All right. Okay, everybody, let's go to your questions. We're going to start answering them now. You can still add some more if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
But let's start off with Kareem. Just wanted to confirm that these XR-based courses are applicable for creating VR experiences.
Yes. Everything under XR. So that's VR, AR, and MR.
All the R's are in there. So
you could say we roll our R's.
Whoa. Target stream. That should be our slogan. Where we roll with our R's. Cool. Yeah. So Nakisa teaches XR development with Unity course.
Yes.
So you can either do that by coding or you can focus on, like in the design course, the scenes, right? Like how to import the assets, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Kareem. And now, Anil, how can we use the timer you mentioned for the meditation app?
Ooh, the timer. So what you're going to want to do is you want to create a series of coroutines. And this series of coroutines will be based off of like maybe that 3 3s that I mentioned, that 3 seconds to breathe in, holding for 3 seconds, and then 3 seconds to breathe out. So it's basically like a timed method that you start when you hold your grip button.
When you said 3, I thought you were saying, oh, you know, like the 3 R's again. I thought you were where we do like the bowl bell after.
Oh my God. Except it's just R's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's how you would use a timer.
All right. So Gerald, I'm just going to repeat. Indica already answered this question, but I'm just going to repeat it. So Gerald asked, is an older Unity 2019.2 LTS version of Unity up to date enough? And Indica saying you can use Unity 2020, any LTS version, and that's free. Right. Now, a question from Shane. Can you go into detail about what the differences are between building a project in the universal render pipeline versus 3D, 2D, etc.?
Okay. So when it comes to URP or 3D, URP, you have a lot more flexibility in creating some visual effects. So visual effects, that includes shader graph, which we saw a little bit of use here in terms of like the water, and some of the post-processing effects that you have there too. So with URP, you have your shader graph, you have your visual effects graph to create some really neat visuals there. It is more streamlined for mobile development too. So if you're creating something that's optimized for mobile development, I would say use your universal render pipeline as opposed to your 3D template.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, and Oculus Quest. Quest. Use URP because it's a mobile device. Sorry.
Why are we whispering?
I don't know. It's the end. It's a Shavasana.
Exactly. You know how when somebody starts whispering, Like it's impossible to talk back without whispering as well. It's so weird, you know. It's like you get sucked into that.
Oh my god, yeah.
Okay, so it looks like no more questions. Everybody's just like snapshot to their computer. They're just like sleeping.
just sleeping.
All right, everyone. On that note, thank you so much for attending. What is it? Yeah. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.
Yeah.
And we hope to see you in our next workshop. That's all I have to say. Thanks, Nikisa. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day. #grateful. Bye.